Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Spencer, and in this video I'll be talking about the 3 top credit cards you should have if you're in college in 2022. Before we get into this video, I just want to say that there are obviously a lot of different combinations of cards that you can have, especially when you're first starting out, and there's a lot of really good combinations, but it all depends on what you're really going for, whether it's travel or cashback or what have you. But considering this is a video for beginners on people that don't necessarily understand credit cards and all the complexities of them, I just want to give you the top 3 credit cards that I would recommend, and they're the 3 credit cards that I started with whenever I was starting in my journey. And just as a bonus, if you stay to the end of the video, I'm going to give you a 4th credit card that is very popular among college kids and a very good starter card that I would also recommend. Now let's go ahead and get started. But coming into college, I didn't know much about credit cards at all, other than the fact that my parents had a lot of them. So in order for me to find out everything that I'm about to explain here, I had to do my own market research. And for me to actually get started on my journey, I luckily have a friend that's into banking, and he actually recommended my first couple of cards, and he really kickstarted me to where I'm at today. And through talking to my friend, he actually recommended that I start going with Chase cards as early as possible and just get established in their ecosystem, as they're one of the biggest banks and also credit card lenders that is out there. So before we dive too deep in, I just want y'all to know that all 3 of these cards are Chase cards, and I decided to go for the Chase Trifecta really early. Basically all the Chase Trifecta is just getting 3 cards within the Chase ecosystem, and in doing this, you actually are able to combine all of your ultimate rewards points that Chase offers. So whenever you make a purchase, you accumulate Chase reward points. You can actually use all of those in one account to book travel. You can book those through the Chase portal, or you can also just transfer them out to partners. You can also just use it for cash back if you wanted, although I wouldn't recommend doing that. So if you are going to use your Chase points, I would recommend saving them up and using them for a big trip that you're either planning on going on, or just to have for the future, because everybody knows that at some point we're probably going to be traveling again, and it'd be really important to just, have some free trips saved up if you can. Now let's go ahead and get started with the first card, and that would be the Chase Freedom Student. So this card is a great starter card. This is actually a card that my friend recommended right away because it was very likely that I would get approved with it, as they kind of target, obviously, students who generally don't have very much credit. Now, as you can see on the screen, the perks of this card aren't super great, but that is kind of to be expected, as it is, going to be your first card that you use to just start building credit and establishing that credit history that becomes very important in the future. So one of the first perks that this card comes with is actually a $50 bonus offer after you make your first purchase, which is really cool to see, because that's just $50 free that you get to put in your pocket after you make a purchase that you already would have been making. There's also $20 good standing rewards, which are just rewards on your anniversary of your card every year just for being in good standing with Chase. And although that is only up to 5 years and it's only $20, it's still something. There's also no annual fee with this card, which is going to be true for the first 2 cards that I mentioned, but the third one will have an annual fee. But that is a really good thing, especially when you're starting out, because you don't want to be paying unnecessary fees that you can't afford whenever you're still in college. As for the actual rewards for this card, you get 1% back on everything, which basically means that for every $1 you spend, you get 1 point, or 1 cent equals 1 point. And that's kind of how I'm going to be referring to points here in the future. And although that is also really small, at least it is something. And now moving on to the second card, that would be the Chase Freedom Unlimited. This would be your next step up from the student card. Another card that you could go with here is the Chase Freedom Flex, and I choose the Chase Freedom Unlimited mainly because the rewards that you get back from it are 1.5% on the everything else category, while the Chase Freedom Flex is only 1% back on the everything else category. The one nice thing about the Chase Freedom Flex is that you get 5% back in rotating categories every quarter. So that is good if you are spending in those categories, but you also don't know what they are until that quarter comes out. So that makes it a little bit difficult to predict. That's why I like the Chase Freedom Unlimited, because I just know that for the main bulk of my purchases, I'm going to be getting 1.5% back on everything rather than the 1%. As for a welcome bonus for this card, you get $200 in your pocket after spending $500 within the first 6 months of having the card. In addition, you earn 5% back at gas station purchases for the first year of having this card, as long as that's under $6,000 in the first year. The nice thing about this card is you get 5% back in travel using the Chase Ultimate Rewards portal. You get 3% back on dining at restaurants and also select takeout services. You get 3% back on drugstore purchases, and like I mentioned before, you get 1.5% back on everything else. As I mentioned previously, this card has no annual fee, just like the Freedom Student card, which is very good for a second builder card to that. Now I'll go ahead and move on to my favorite card, as I've been waiting a long time to get this, and that would be this Chase Sapphire Preferred. Now, I will be honest, this is considered one of the higher tier cards, more of a mid-tier card, and I'm not trying to say that I have a lot of money here to be spending on an annual fee, which there is a $95 annual fee for this card, but the bonus that comes with this card far outweighs the annual fee, even for the first 6 or 7 years, which is kind of crazy to think about. The bonus is 60,000 ultimate rewards points after you spend $4,000 within the first 3 months. So if you're using this through the Chase Ultimate Rewards portal, you're actually going to get about $750 worth of value, and if you take the $95 away from that in the first year, or for the annual fee, you're still left with a lot of money left over. That is, as long as you're spending that $4,000 on something that you were already going to purchase. As for me, in order to get the bonus, I actually put my tuition on my credit card, which I wouldn't recommend in general because they usually charge like a 3% fee to do this. but that was only like $150 in the grand scheme of things for this semester, that fee. And if you still added that with the $195, that's $245 that I spent, but I still got that $750 back, so I'm really still up $500+. This card comes with a plethora of benefits, the first of which being that it comes with a $50 statement credit for any travel booked through the Ultimate Rewards portal every year. In addition to that, you also get the 5 times points on travel booked through the portal, just like you do with the Freedom Unlimited card. You also earn 2 points per dollar on any travel booked outside of the Chase portal. You earn 3x points on dining and takeout services and some delivery services, just like the Freedom Unlimited. You also get 3 times points on online grocery shopping, but that does exclude some places like Target and Walmart, etc. You also earn 3% back on select streaming services and 1 point per dollar on everything else. So the main reason that I actually got the Sapphire Preferred, not only just to feel cool and like have a considered luxury card, but I also wanted to be able to pool all my points together on that Sapphire Preferred. And if you do that and use that for travel through the Chase portal, you actually get 1.25 times the points that you would rather than just booking it through the Freedom Unlimited or the Freedom Student. So in doing some calculations here, if you had 100,000 points, that would redeem for $1,000 at 1 times point per dollar. But if you redeemed it through the Chase portal, that actually be $1,250 that you would get. So that's just great rewards. This also helps offset the $95 annual fee. And if you added up all of the combined points that you would get from all the benefits and as well as the statement credit, you really are not paying a high annual fee at all, or you're actually getting reimbursed for holding this card. Now at this point of the video, I hope you can see the power in having your first 3 cards being Chase cards. The way that I kind of organize my spending and my upgrade path throughout the last couple of years of having these cards is as follows. So obviously, as I previously mentioned, I first opened up the Chase Freedom Student and I was able to take advantage of their welcome bonus. I also started to earn minimal points as I was only getting 1% back, but I was still earning some points. Then I moved up to the Chase Freedom Unlimited, took advantage of their welcome bonus, and then earned more points through that because I was getting a higher reward or a higher percentage per dollar I was spending. So at that point, I believe I had about 30,000 points or so saved up just from welcome bonuses and just spending in general. So then I decided it was time to move up and earn some really high points. That's when I came to the Chase Sapphire Preferred, and that welcome bonus alone, that 60,000 points, brought me almost completely up to 100,000 points where I'm sitting at about today, which is $1,000 of free travel, which is just crazy to think about. And depending on how I actually redeem those points, if I transferred them out to say Southwest or somewhere that I like to fly, and that could be worth much higher multipliers than just the $1,000 that I have in my account. Now, since you waited for it for so long, here's my honorable mention of a card that is very worth looking at in comparison to these, especially if you're looking for cash back instead of travel points. And that would be the Discover It. Now, I don't have this credit card personally, but I know many people that have it and that have started with it, and it comes with some great perks, I must say, and it's an especially good starter card for people that don't exactly know if they want to travel, like I just mentioned, but they might want to just use it for cash back. This card also has no annual fee, which is a great reason to have it as a starter card. And the welcome bonus for this card, although it's not going to give you direct points right away, what it does, they actually match your cash back that you get for the first year. They match it 1-to-1, which is really great. And now for actual reward points with this card, you earn 5% back on select categories every quarter, kind of like the Chase Freedom Flex. And just like the Chase Freedom Flex, you actually have a maximum that you can spend in that category to get that 5%. After that, it's 1% for every other purchase. The one thing you do want to keep in mind with this card though is that Chase does have a 524 rule, and basically all that states is that you cannot have opened 5 different credit card accounts with any company over the past 24 months to be approved for another Chase credit card. So in the grand scheme of things, if you're not planning on applying for more than 5 cards in 24 months, then this rule will not apply to you, and the Discover It card could be a great first card. So now on to my final thoughts. If you're anything like me and you want to get the most out of the points that you receive, I would recommend going with the Chase backing like I do here. Not only do you get in good standing with the powerhouse of a bank like Chase, but you also get to pool all of your points onto one account, which is really helpful whenever you're first getting started. And although Chase points are generally redeemed for travel purposes, there are still ways to redeem your Chase points for cash back, although you just won't get the most value. However, if you are only looking for cash back and you're concrete in those ways, then I would use the Discover It as your first card. But considering that none of us really know what we're going to be doing in the next few years, I don't think it's a bad idea at all to get Chase cards started so that you can already have, like I do, 100,000 points saved up, even though I haven't taken a single trip with my points yet. I also want to give you all a rough outline of when I did get these cards, so if you're thinking about adding more than one like I did, you can kind of know the timeline behind it. I first applied for the Chase Freedom Student card in December of 2020, and I waited roughly a year, and I got the Chase Freedom Unlimited in September of 2021. And now, like I just mentioned, the Chase Sapphire Preferred is my baby, and I just got that in January of 2022. So as you can see, after my first card, I waited about a year to build a lot of credit up behind me, so I was pretty confident that I would get approved for the Chase Freedom Unlimited. Although whenever you move up to a higher card with an annual fee, they're obviously gonna look a little bit closer into your application. And I was a little bit worried about getting denied for this card, but I actually got approved right away, and I got a high credit limit of over $10,000, which is just really amazing. And although in this video I didn't necessarily explain all that credit cards have to offer, just know that I use my credit cards like they are a debit card, and I only put things on these cards that I know I can pay for right away. So always plan on using your credit cards responsibly. And if y'all want, in the future, I can make videos on a cashback setup using the Discover It as a backbone. I can also make videos on what I'm looking forward to next, which I think is going to be the next video I make because I'm really passionate about what I want to do this year. And I can also make a video just about how to use credit cards for beginners if you'd like. If you have any other ideas, please leave them in the comment below, and I really appreciate you clicking on this video. Thank you so much for watching, and if you want more, please click up here to see my latest video. And finally, if you enjoyed, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.